a little bit more about what that means. How do you learn to deal with failure? How do you get ready? All of this is on your journey to starting a business, right? So I'm talking to you who is in your corporate job, in your office right now, watching this over the internet, and you have a dream, you have a thought, you have an ambition, there's a business you want to run, and you're planning towards it. So you are the person that I'm talking to today, or you've just started, you're just at the beginning now, you're trying to figure things out. This is good for you. This is good to, it's good to learn, especially in entrepreneurship, where failure is almost a guarantee, unfortunately, right? Because if you look at the statistics, in Africa, 90% of businesses die out in the first 5 years. 90% of businesses die out in the first 5 years. It means that only 10% make it past the first 5 years, right? So we're here to give you the tools so that even if you are one of those people that have failed before, or even if you're one of those people that has been through a failure event, you know how to bounce back, learn, and bounce back from it, right? Now, let me tell you my story. If you sometimes I get a lot of people will say, oh no, you built a business, you built a foundation that's in 30 African countries, you built a business that's IT consulting of the year. But I want to tell you my story about failure, and then so that you will understand that everybody fails. Everybody fails on a daily basis. And you, when you sit down right now watching me, you know that you failed at something at one point in your life, and you've moved on from it. So let me tell you, I'm going to tell you 3 stories. Story number 1. This is it's an old story, but this is from back when I was younger. So when I went to Infantiman Girls Secondary School, so any Infantiman Girls Secondary School person is listening, hello. And I was in, I think, in the top 10% of my class. Then we went to write SSCs, and then I failed my SSCs. This is not somebody who was failing in school. This is somebody who was doing well in school. Wrote exams, failed. I mean, everybody was shocked, right? Now, I went from there, and this was my first very major failure in life, right? I had to go back and, relook at my results and rewrite and that sort of thing. But guess what? I went from there to getting a second class upper in my university, and then getting a master's in distributed systems. I was the only person in my class that I was able to actually pass out with an MSc in distributed systems, right? So from somebody who failed her SSCs to somebody who graduated with an MSc in distributed systems, which is a branch of software engineering. I was the only person that took that course that year. Nobody actually wanted to take that course. That's just how difficult it was, right? Everybody comes back from some sort of failure in life. I'll tell you a second story, which is also very interesting. So my foundation, the Women in Tech Africa, when I initially started it, I thought, okay, let me just do one small online event, right? So those are, I wanted to bring women in the technology space together to share ideas over conference call. And, I had everything arranged. I had my speakers, I had speakers from IBM, I had, all the setup. The day comes, there were over 150 women signed up from, Zambia, Rwanda, South Africa. We now start the program, it's online, and then it just won't work, whether it's internet, whatever. Can you imagine that I put myself out there to do this big event? 150 people signed up. I've invited these, at the time I invited the head of IBM South Saharan Africa, all these people, and then the technology would not work, right? Anyway, so at that time, I had really quick thinking. After an hour, I decided, okay, let's go and make it a Twitter chat. If you use Twitter, you'll understand it was a Twitter chat. And people went, and it was, they had a chat and the program ended. But guess what happened after that? Because the program wasn't just a conference call and we took it to Twitter, CNN Africa noticed the program and we were invited. This is an amazing story, right? We were invited to write an opinion piece, which was published on CNN Africa, about women, technology, and Africa. You never know. Failure is always a stepping stone to something better. So now that I've told you my story, you also know that, look, you've succeeded in things in life, you failed in life. Now I want to give you the tools. How do you manage when you've been hit with a failure? How do you manage that? Now, I'll tell you my third story. I haven't told you the third story while I go through this, because that's the biggest story. Now, the first point is when you fail, whether it's at business, whether you attempted to start a business that it failed, or you attempted to push yourself out of your comfort zone, do something that's out of the norm, and you fail. Don't take it personal. I know people are just like, really, I started a business and it didn't work out and I should not take it personal. But here's the thing, just because you have failed at something does not make you a failure. Two different things. You have failed at something does not make you a failure. Now this is where I start to tell you my third story. So if you know my history and my career, when I finished my master's in the UK, I stayed in the UK and worked a couple of years, and then decided to come back to Ghana and start a business. Now, I brought my savings to Ghana, I started the business, and then realized, look, I wasn't able to sell, I wasn't getting customers, I wasn't getting clients. At the end of the day, I lost all my savings. So in that situation, when you tell somebody who has left a job to start a business and the business has failed, you tell them, don't take it personal. I understand. I mean, if somebody had told me at the time, I'd be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean by don't take it personal? But here's the thing. You are separate. You as an entity are separate. Your identity is separate from the fact that you have done something that didn't succeed. So do not take it personal. I know that's hard to do, but understand that you're very separate from the actions of your failure. 2,